and welcome to Still Buffering, a sister's guide to teens through the ages. I am Rileigh Smirl.
I'm Sydney McElroy.
And I'm Taylor Smirl.
Rileigh is doing this weird thing where in between everything she says, she's looking away.
Because
you remind me of that SNL sketch where they're singing that Christmas song, and I think it's Chris Kattan keeps looking back and forth while he's holding the keyboard to the beat of the music.
There's never been a cat in here while we've been recording before, and all of a sudden I just turned around because I thought I heard something, and CJ's just chilling on the floor looking at us.
Yeah, Riley's like rhythmically turning around, though. It's like exactly every other second she's like,
Because
checking out what's going on next.
Sitting like
very distracted.
She's sitting like a person, and it's so funny.
She does that.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Just, it caught me off guard during the count-in and the intro, and I couldn't.
You've performed in front of audiences of like thousands of people, but that one cat is throwing you off your game.
She's a large cat.
She is. She's a large cat, and she's sitting like a person just looking at me.
She does that. Did you girls have a good weekend?
I'm pretty tired.
Is it the weekend?
Yeah, it's the weekend.
Okay. It all runs together. Weekends are work for me, but, you know.
Well, we took Charlie to like a science-y kind of museum yesterday. Mm-hmm. Well, it was supposed to be.
A science-y kind of museum?
Well, it's supposed to. It's in Charleston, West Virginia, which is not far from where we live, and it's like my impression was that it would be like a COSI kind of experience, but maybe smaller.
Yeah, it's not really.
It's not. There is now we missed it. It's not open yet. There's gonna be this really great thing with the human body called like Your Gross Body that they're gonna do like next week, but we could look through like windows at all the exhibits that weren't open yet. Charlie was so sad.
Did she not enjoy the game show, like the squares type game show with the body parts in it?
That's not open.
What?
The only thing that was open is they have like a little city where like you can go try out different jobs. So you go around and there's like a little restaurant and a little grocery store and a little like mechanic shop and a doctor's office and a vet.
Had to have loved that.
And like a power plant. And you can like have a job in them and they're all kid sized, or there's even a theater where you can go in and like put on a show. She did love that. She worked all the jobs.
There used to be, when I went there when I was little, they had a whole human body thing, and there was a game show you could go in and watch between all the body parts, and you could pull out the size of your long intestine and your small intestine and like hold it.
I think they had all that locked away as part of the gross thing they were gonna roll out on it. They have like a life-sized operation game.
Well, that's cool.
That we could see through the glass, but we couldn't get to because it wasn't open. She was so sad. She was like, had her little face pressed up against it, was looking. She went, I want to see that. It was very sad. And then we took her out to dinner, and her booth had a mirror right next to her seat, and she performed all of Broadway Baby to herself in the mirror.
Cool. Because she's a cool baby.
Yeah. It entertained her the entire dinner that she could look at herself and talk to herself and sing songs to herself.
She does like looking at herself.
Yeah. I made an adorable video of her singing to herself.
Made a video of it?
I made a video.
You gonna upload it?
I lugged out my giant VHS recorder. Put it on my shoulder. I felt like Danny Tanner, and I made a video.
You gonna upload that to the YouTubes and make her an internet celebrity?
She's already headed towards internet celebrity status with her podcast, but I don't know. I don't want her to get a reputation for being too self-obsessed.
Guys, I just thought I'd give you a cat update. Now it's laying on its side, and it all kind of molds together because she's all kind of one shape, and she looks like a loaf of bread.
I think we should have reviewed cat updates ahead of time before deciding to include them, because I would have voted no.
Look at her.
Poor CJ. Can I just say in my defense, I have tried to put my cat on a diet. I am aware that it is not healthy for her to be this size, and I have tried to get like diet cat food and like put the bowls different places, and then we even got her a cat. Like, we got our cat a little cat.
I'm just going to take a picture of this
you, like,
really
an older cat will be more active if they have a younger cat to play with. None of that has helped. I'm trying. I limit her portions.
She's just a big girl. Okay, anyways. I
love her just the same, but I don't want you to think I don't. I'm like, I am concerned with my cat's well-being.
I thought I'd give y'all a cat update.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Well, this has been CJ's Corner.
That's a pretty good name for a show.
CJ's Corner. She's named for the press secretary from the West Wing. So there's that fact. Anyway, so yeah, maybe I'll upload it like a video to the internet, and then everyone on the internet can enjoy that video, because you kids these days love videos, don't you, Rileigh?
Yeah, we do, Sid. Just like we love segues.
About videos.
About videos.
Hey, are we talking about videos? Is that what that means?
Hey, I think we should talk about videos.
Yeah,
what a great idea.
Wow, what a natural transition there from cat talk to videos.
Now, cat videos are very popular.
Cat videos are very... That's fair. That's also a good segue.
Yes.
People on the internet love cats.
Yes.
That is true.
Yeah.
I gave you a good segue. Didn't even have to work for it.
That's what... one time, Charlie looked over my shoulder when I was looking at Facebook on my phone, and she said, "What's this?" And I said, "Well, it's like this place on the internet that's full of pictures of cats and dogs and people's babies. You would love this, actually." You can't read any of the words, so you would absolutely love Facebook.
Yeah.
Because if you just look at the pictures, here's a cat, here's a baby, here's a cat and a baby.
Seems like her kind of place.
Yeah, just don't read any of the words and you'll be very happy.
Yeah.
But I feel like now you just can't open an internet without running into a YouTube.
An internet?
An old YouTuber doing their tubes.
What do you think YouTubers do on their tubes, Sydney?
I don't know. From what I can tell, they mainly dress up as Disney princesses.
Well, you do have a 2-year-old that's watching all of your YouTube. Okay.
That's what, and they review candy.
Uh-huh.
And they open toys. That's the big thing they do.
Yeah.
They open toys and make videos of it.
Yeah, those are becoming overwhelmingly popular on the YouTube, I will say.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes they like eat weird stuff.
Yeah.
And sometimes they like do weird stuff.
Also, they make lots of meals that are tasty according to the name on them.
Oh yeah.
I cannot verify that they are
You mean
tasty.
like the 20-second little videos?
Yeah.
I don't know if those are YouTubes.
No, I guess they're not YouTubes, but I mean they're
on
videos.
YouTubes.
They are videos. Yeah, you can probably
Internet
find them on
videos.
YouTube.
Maybe.
I'm really mystified, and maybe Rileigh, as a modern teen, you can explain the appeal of these. The haul videos where it's just like, I went to a Forever 21 and bought 10 things, and I'm going to show them all to you. Like, if my friend did that to me in person, someone who I knew and who I cared about, I would be like, well, no, I don't care. That's great. Why? And these people have millions of views. And it's just like, look at this beige button up. It's like, why do you care?
That's a great question. I have that question about many things on the internet. I mean, it's the same for me as they're like, look, I have a collection of Disney princess bath bombs. Watch me open each one.
Wait, what?
No, that's there. Yeah, I feel like I can only complain so much because I fall down these weird holes where I'm watching some girl talk about like 15 different bath bombs, and it's not like she's trying them out. She's just holding them up and saying they smell good. I'm like, oh wow, that's great. That's quality content. You let me know that smells good.
Candles? Ooh, I don't mind if I do.
Now, I do love candles. I will never pass up the opportunity to watch someone smelling different candles and tell me which ones I should buy.
Okay, so all right, so are you watching these haul videos to be like, I'm gonna go get that pink tank top from Forever 21? Like,
well, if it's
is that
like,
why you're watching them?
Well, if it's YouTubers that like I admire their style and like I want to dress like they do or like do my makeup like they do, I'm like, I wonder how they did their hair like that or did their makeup like that or where they got those clothes, and they do videos to tell me where they got all of their makeup and hair style, hair care tools and clothes, then maybe I will watch them so I can know how to achieve their looks.
How do you find, and let's start off, since we're already talking about YouTube, let's start off with your generation this time. Usually we start with Taylor and I telling you about the past, and then you bring us into the future. Let's live in the future.
Let's go
right
back
now.
to the
Let's
future.
live in the now, and then we can tell you about the past at the end. But how do you find a YouTuber that you trust or like you know to follow? Well, you know what I mean? Like, there are, as far as I can tell, millions of YouTubers, right?
Everyone's a YouTuber.
Right? I mean, like, how do you know? What would I do? Like, go to YouTube and search for cool style lady?
Yes. Please go to YouTube.
I really want to go to YouTube right now and see what comes up for cool style lady.
Well, how, as a teen, what would I search if I was just like first time going to YouTube?
First time ever on YouTube.
And
you're
I
not
wanted
asking
to-
your friends. You have no one to talk to.
Well, I mean, there has to be a friend who knew it first. Like, there has to be the friend X, friend zero. That's what I mean. Friend zero, the original friend who found the YouTuber who was cool and told the other friends. How did that friend find that YouTuber?
For me, it's like, okay, I get on YouTube for mainly two reasons. One, there's a YouTuber that I watch on a regular basis and they upload a new video and I want to watch it. Or two, I need to look up a certain thing and want to know how to do a certain thing or want to see about a certain thing. So I look up that certain thing. And if I don't already have YouTubers I like, then I'm on there and I'm looking for like I don't even know, like a makeup video or a clothing video or a tag video or a challenge or something. And I look that up and then there are, of course, millions of options. But then you click on the one that either looks the most appealing or you look has like a lot of views. So obviously it's a popular person. And I think it's just trial and error. Like, yeah, that person has a lot of views, but they don't seem very genuine. They don't seem very into it. I don't like that. Or this person doesn't have as many views, but she's really funny. I'm into that.
But if you've got like, I'm going to create a scenario.
Okay.
You're looking for what the cool new teen fashions are going to be.
Okay.
Are you going to look on YouTube first of all?
If I'm just looking for,
What's everybody going to be wearing back to school this fall?
yeah, I'd say YouTube.
Okay.
Either YouTube or Pinterest or Instagram.
Well, if you use YouTube for this purpose and you go and let's say there are 3 competing videos and they're all, and like one's like, it's the year of cargo shorts and another one's like, no.
It's never the year of cargo shorts.
It's never the year.
I know this is just an example, but I just want to throw that out there.
Flowered maxi skirts are the thing, and another one's like peasant blouses. What's up? How do you know which one to trust?
Well, I think it's like,
Other than I guess not the cargo short.
Person is trolling.
I love cargo pants, not shorts. But anyway, moving
for
on.
me at least, it's I think it's different for every person because I'd rather watch someone who has a similar style that I do telling me not like what I should wear, but like showing me ideas on how to put outfits together is more so what I'd be looking for. Not like these are the exact things you should buy, but like if you have this type of skirt and this type of shirt, then like, you know, this is a cute combination, or like this is an outfit that I got from here and this is a similar style that you can recreate with these things. So it's like if someone's really into cargo shorts, then maybe they want to look at this person who's showing them like 10 different ways to wear cargo shorts and style cargo shorts.
Are there different ways to wear cargo shorts?
Maybe. That's why you click on that video.
You don't just have to wear cargo shorts as shorts. Try wrapping them around your neck as a festive scarf chief. Try putting them on your head as a boho turban. Cargo shorts, not just shorts.
I feel like cargo shorts have to have their day in the sun again because like there are a lot of back in time there are a lot of guys from like the mid 90s right now who are like, what's wrong with my cargo shorts?
Wait, no, I think now you remember the ones that you could have cargo shorts, but they were also pants because they had a panel that would zip on.
The zip-on
off
cargo
at the
shorts.
knee. 2 pairs of pants in one, equally
the
terrible,
coolest.
and inevitably, like you lose one of the panels. Like you like a lower leg piece.
And then it's a whole new look. Maybe you're a trendsetter.
That's one of the ways to wear cargo shorts that the girl describes in her video.
Oh, you've seen the video, I see. I think that's interesting because my suspicion, and I don't know, because I don't know much about YouTube. I would wonder, though, if you were someone who sold clothes to teenagers, who made clothes or sold clothes to teenagers, that if you realized teenagers were looking to YouTube and specific popular YouTubers who had more views to tell them what to wear or tell them how to wear things.
You sponsor them.
Exactly.
Yes.
And you would then send them clothes. So then, does that happen?
Yeah, but you have to state if you're doing a sponsored video that it is sponsored, And then I'm less likely to trust that these are actually their like 10 favorite clothing items if they say like this video is sponsored by, I don't know, Forever 21 and they sent me all these clothes. Like, I'm not going to believe those are their favorite clothes ever.
But what if it's like, isn't viral marketing a thing where you're not saying it's sponsored? Like, I mean, if you're a YouTuber, and you don't have a contract that says you're sponsored by,
well,
if Forever 21 sends you a shirt and says you don't have to mention that we sponsored you, just wear this shirt and talk about how you like it, and it's free, and we'll keep sending you free stuff and never mention us, like never mention that there's a deal. I mean, like as a YouTuber, there's no law that says you can't, right?
When you're creating a video, and I mean, like I've never done this because I've never been sponsored by like companies on YouTube videos, but there's an option in like the YouTube terms of service where you have to click this video is sponsored by an outside company, or this video includes sponsored products. So it's not so much through the outside companies, it's YouTube that's saying you have to tell people this video is sponsored by an outside company.
I didn't know YouTube did that. That's good though.
But there's a difference though between somebody giving you money to talk about their company and here's some free stuff. Like I've seen videos where YouTubers they're getting free stuff from a company, but they're just giving honest reviews of it,
Yeah, and that's different. Like I actually will like a YouTuber more if they will say, I was sent this product. Like a lot of makeup YouTubers are sent free samples of stuff or like new releases of makeup before they come out to show people about them. But I always tend to trust YouTubers more and like them more if they're like, I was sent this, but it's not one of my favorite things. Like I was given this for free, but I wouldn't recommend it, and I don't use it on a regular basis, because then it's like, yeah, they're being sponsored, and they were sent something for free, but they're not just telling people they love it so other people will go buy it.
I gotcha.
But I also feel like there's probably, like, there's a very popular, like, phone game called Best Fiends that literally every YouTuber I watch has been sponsored by at some point, and they are given, I can tell, some sort of, like, a script or outline to say, where they're not really saying they love this game or they hate this game, but this is what this game is, and they have to show so much gameplay of them playing it and talk about their personal experience. I think that's just, they're paying you money, so they're saying, here, we're paying you money to talk about our product, but you also have to do these things. You don't have to accept every sponsorship.
Right.
But,
That's interesting, and that's good to know, because my thought was that you could very easily, in a format like YouTube, just talk about things you loved and not necessarily mention, a sponsorship. And if you were not keyed into that possibility, that maybe I don't know if you're getting tricked. If you like it, who cares?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I guess if YouTube makes you mention that, then, or click that somewhere, then that changes things.
And I mean, again, I think if you're like a impressionable young girl who's like 11 or 12 and is watching this like 18 or 19-year-old big girl like wearing all this makeup and trying on all these clothes, you won't care if they're sponsored or not, because you want to like look like them, so you'll want like to ask your mom to get them for you anyways, or like, wow, these clothes were sent to this girl for free, I want those clothes. But then I feel like if you're like my age and you're like, I know it was sponsored and she got that for free, but I do like that, so I'm going to spend my money on that. Or, yeah, she's talking about how much she likes it, but I do not like it, so I'm not going to be spending my money on it.
Well, now, do you think, Rileigh, there's a link? Because I've talked about this before, I'm floored by the makeup that you have, like the quality of it, like the amount. And I mean, when we were teenagers, we were using like Wet n Wild, like drugstore makeup, like that's
Wet n Wild, Bonnie Bill.
And you didn't care what it was. Like the products weren't sold towards you. There were advertisements for that level of stuff, and they were in like, Cosmopolitan. They were in magazines that we weren't necessarily reading. Do you think that the YouTube like beauty tutorials has a direct relation to like the amount of like product that most like a younger generation of people are buying, like nicer stuff?
I think for me, at least part of it, in terms of like, not even in relation to the YouTube stuff, well, maybe in relation to it, now that I think about it, but the fact that I buy nicer quality stuff is just because it's going on my face, and like, I have very sensitive skin, so I buy the nicer quality stuff that I know like won't like irritate my skin, because sometimes even if something is a drugstore brand doesn't mean it's going to be bad. I have drugstore makeup that I use on a regular basis, and it may be like $20 less expensive. That doesn't mean it's worse. But I also have drugstore makeup that I've bought because it's cheaper, and it has broken my face out because it's just lower quality.
But you're aware of that. I mean, that's a difference right there. I mean, I understand what you're saying.
I think
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
I mean, it took me a while. It took me putting stuff on my face and going, oh, well, that was very sparkly, and sparkly is in right now, but now I have a rash, before I stopped using something. I think that level of awareness that there's a quality differential in makeup alone, I think is a bit of a shift.
Well, I think it's like, now that I think about it, I think YouTube does have something to do with it, because I watch these people and they're like doing these amazing makeup looks and looking like flawless and doing all this crazy eye makeup and foundation and whatever, and they're able to do it with drugstore makeup, but then at the same time I buy it for myself and it doesn't look right on me, or they're doing things with high quality stuff and it's again, even though it's high quality, maybe it doesn't work for me. So I think it's just like, I think maybe I'm the exception in a way, where I will be more conscious about what I am getting, because I know that even though this may look good on someone I'm watching on a screen, it might not look good for me, or maybe their skin is different than mine, so I don't need that. I think that a lot of people, maybe even younger people than me, who are getting, because I wasn't into makeup when I was 12 or 13. I haven't really been into makeup for more than like a year, probably. But I think probably people who are younger than me are looking at these girls and like watching all of their expensive makeup they're buying and like, I'm going to buy exactly what they have. I don't care if it's right for me. I don't care if it's bad quality or too expensive. They just want to do what they're doing.
Is there a different tier of videos where like, I want to look good on a teen budget?
Yeah, there are definitely, like, every makeup YouTuber I've watched has at least a handful of videos where they're like, look at this affordable drugstore makeup look I did using all products from, like, CVS.
Okay.
And there was even one video I watched that was really interesting that was like, I recreated the same exact look for $50 on this side of my face, and on this side of my face, I did the same exact thing for $200. And it's just like they're showing you, like, you can look good using both, but there is a difference.
See, because I mean, like, when I think about, I've never watched any fashion or makeup tutorials ever on, I was going to say on YouTube, ever in my life, on anything ever. But I once did look up on YouTube how to cut your own hair.
Okay.
So that I didn't have to go get my hair cut.
And did you cut your own hair?
I did.
Did it work?
It was shorter. Like the scissors function.
The scissors worked.
The scissors worked. I wanted to have layers, and this person on YouTube made it sound like all you had to do was put a ponytail right on top of your head, and then cut the end of the ponytail.
No.
You know, this is funny.
And I did that.
Sid, I did almost the exact same thing, but I did it after reading a Linda Berry comic. Linda Berry's a comic book artist that does really, like, a lot of like stories about her past and her childhood. And she was talking about getting really good, like her friends would give each other good shag haircuts by pulling their hair to the top of their head and bending over the toilet and cutting it off. And that's how you get a really good shag. I was like, well, if this comic book artist says it works, I'm going to do it. Doesn't work.
No, that's almost exactly what I did. And like, that was basically it. You just cut it. And then the only difference was at the end, she had you kind of doing those like upward choppy cuts where you cut like perpendicular, or I mean, not perpendicular, like parallel to the hair.
Yeah.
And to make it choppy on the ends, which I couldn't tell if it was doing anything at all. But I think that's because I was using like regular craft scissors.
Yeah.
Which you're probably not supposed to. I wasn't using safety scissors, but but it didn't work. I mean, my hair was shorter, but it didn't look good. And I was very frustrated.
I think,
is there a YouTube video where somebody cuts their hair with safety scissors and proves you can do a good haircut on a budget?
I mean, there are YouTube videos where adult women use children's makeup.
Okay.
Make it look good. That's a thing now.
Well,
So there's something out there for everybody.
Now, I think one thing that I have noticed too, in addition to like where you get your style, is, and Justin already does this. Anytime he wants to know how to do something, he looks at a video of people doing it. And that fascinates me because my inclination is still to go read about it. Not like in a book if I have a book.
Go to a library and look for a book on how to cut your hair. and check it out and go
I'm not
home.
that old. I wouldn't go to a library and be like, excuse me, where's the section on how to cut your hair? I need a book on. No, but or like that video I looked up because I could see like the visual app. I could see where there was a visual application. But for a lot of things, I'll just read about how to do it.
Like what would you need to know how to do that you don't require a visual application?
I don't know.
Please tell me.
Let me think of a good example. Anyways, that's what everybody does now. You just go look at videos all the time for everything.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's got to be a change in some sort of way your brain processes information, though, Sid. Because I'm with you. Like, I can't, like, cooking videos, I'll watch things like, that looks delicious. I'm never going to follow that. Like, I need a recipe. I need to be able to refer back to what I've already done. Like,
that's a great example.
That's what my brain needs.
That's a great example. I don't use videos to cook with. Like, I'll look at when they're embedded in my social media feed, those 20-second tasty videos. I will stop and stare at them if they look good, but not because I intend to do that. No. I'm not going to do it later. I just want to look at it. It's food porn. I'm moving on.
But it's possible to follow those because we made pizza lasagna based off of one of those videos.
That's true. You did.
And it was delicious.
But you're right. I want to read about it. I want a recipe and I read and I follow directions. One picture would be nice, so I make sure it looks like the thing.
Just one.
But all I need is one of like what the completed thing looks like. Otherwise, I don't need pictures of like a cup of flour. Like, I know what that looks like. I can use my mind's eye.
I think maybe the difference is in like different types of learners, and maybe it's just my generation has become all visual learners, because I know there are some people that need to try something first, to like watch someone do it and do it for themselves before they can do it. And some people they can read something, know how to do it, and some people just need to watch something or listen to something. And I personally have to watch someone do something before I can know how to do it. Like, not cut your own hair is not a great example, but like like if I was like trying to achieve a certain makeup look, I couldn't read about it and like,
well, sure. But that's a very visual thing, too.
Or even, like, a recipe. Like, it's hard for me to just read step by step without looking at, like, this is what it looks like on this step. And I would need to watch someone doing the whole thing. I think that's just different types of learners. I think maybe just my generation being exposed to videos our entire life and growing up in a world where everything can be looked up on the internet, we're just become visual learners.
And that's the same with, like, learning information, though. Like, for instance, whenever I do research for my other podcast, so I guess I can name it, so I'm not trying to plug it. I'm just, as an example, I do research for that every week, so I do this all the time. I don't ever watch videos when I'm researching things. Like, it would never occur to me to get information like that, things I need to learn and talk about, unless there is a visual element, which there almost never is. But like, unless I need to look at something, I always get my information from text. Like, I find websites and I read about it, and I read papers and journals, but I don't watch videos to learn.
I think a good example is something that could be read and that I have an easier time watching and using YouTube for is like before a test in my AP US history class, because that class is an AP text and is like the same nationwide. It's before like a test on a certain period or chapter. It's easy for me to go to YouTube and look up like a push period 7 review, and there's like a 10-minute video that's like, here's what happened in all of period 7 and all the important events and people and dates, and it's me watching a video of someone going through a timeline. And for me, it's easier for me to sit down and watch a 10-minute video before my test and know all the important stuff than being given, for say, like the textbook and being given all of these pages of text, because then it's someone highlighting the important events, or even like if that was written down exactly what that person is saying. For me, just the visual element of it is easier. I think it's easier to pull from a video that's entertaining and grabs your attention than just being given like a sheet of text and saying like, study for your test this way.
Wow, that's so strange to me, because I even found like I'll occasionally listen to audiobooks when I'm like drawing or painting or something, when I'm doing something that I'm kind of need a distraction by, and I find that I can't retain even in that format, like even in like listening. Like, it can be entertaining, but if I really want to retain something, I need to physically read it. That's, and I don't know what that means difference wise, but the idea of watching something on YouTube to retain information, I just don't think that, I don't think my brain saves information as well as it does from text.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, and I wonder, it's like a chicken or the egg thing. Is that visual way that you're learning the way that most people really learn better? And so that's why it's taking over, is because there are more visual learners than auditory learners or kinetic learners or, people who learn other ways. Or are you being conditioned to learn visually because so much more now is visually presented, because you have the option.
Yeah, I think it's a shift that's kind of apparent, because even my teachers will use videos in class, like the John and Hank Green crash course videos that are like 10-minute long videos on a certain period in history or a science concept or something. They'll use those in class and show those to us as kind of a review of everything we've learned. And I think it's just, that's how my generation learns. I don't know if it's that we're being conditioned. I think it's more so that when you all were growing up, like in elementary school and middle school, like you didn't have videos and stuff like that. Even high school, you didn't have videos that showed you things like that. You didn't have technology as a way to learn things. And I didn't as much in elementary school, but really in middle school and high school, when you're learning tough concepts and like trying to learn important events in history and things about science and math, teachers have always used videos and have always used websites and have always used the internet as a way to teach us. And I think it's just because we've grown up around it so much. And I mean, the internet has been around since I have been alive. Like the entire time I've been alive, it has been around. And I think it's just, we've grown up through it. We weren't introduced to it halfway through our life, because I think it's harder to show someone something when they haven't been used to it their entire life than using something someone has grown up around.
I mean, we used to have like educational videos we watched sometimes.
Yeah.
Like there was a movie about like Tesla that was really good.
But that was like
I mean,
that was like the exception for you all, though. Like the exception was a day where you all spent a class period watching a movie about Tesla.
And yes, it was the exception, and those also were the days where most people fell asleep.
Yeah,
because it was dark.
And that always signaled to me like the teacher doesn't really want to, like the teacher is having an off day, so we're gonna have an off day. I remember
exactly.
I had a microbiology class where we watched Outbreak 3 times.
Yeah, when the movie comes on, that's when it's like, we're not teaching you right now.
No.
I need a break. And you guys you've had enough for the semester, so just like turn your brains off. Like a video meant learning is done.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
it never meant we're going to augment your learning.
And this is just abstractly, like to me, this way of learning that Sydney and I are talking about, it makes sense to my brain, and that's no judgment on any other way of learning, but like when I'm watching a video, there's so much information there that's not just the content that I need to be learning. There's a visual aspect that doesn't have anything to do necessarily, like if somebody's talking, there's just more information coming at you, and when you're reading something, it's kind of distilled into the stuff you need to retain. So I guess that's why it makes sense to me, but then again, that's the way we always learn, so you're right. That's just the way we're programmed, probably.
I think it's more adapting what we do outside of school and what we find our interests in and what we use as entertainment into education. Like what we do outside of school is watching videos and watching YouTube and Netflix. So teachers are trying to incorporate that concept into education because they know that's what we are interested in. And I think like with you all growing up, when you all went home, you weren't watching YouTube videos and you all weren't watching like stuff off of the internet. That was like your constant source of entertainment, where I mean TV was probably, if you were watching anything, it was from cable, whereas now
I was borrowing that Tesla video,
right?
So I
borrowing
could watch it again.
I'm just now trying to figure out what was Oregon Trail trying to teach us actually.
That cholera will kill you.
That's all. That was the only takeaway I got. Dysentery. Watch out for it.
I can see places where, like, one useful, I know, like in medical education, procedures that you learn, especially like as a family doctor, minor in-office procedures that we might do on a patient. Video obviously has been a great way to, a great addition to how to learn that. Like reading about how to do a procedure or somebody describing it to you, unless they're actually demonstrating it on someone in front of you. Hearing about it can be useful. Watching a YouTube video of somebody removing a toenail is probably a lot more helpful and probably a lot easier to replicate. So I mean, I can see ways where it has added to our education. We still, obviously, we don't just tell people to watch YouTube videos and do it.
I think
like we teach you about the toe first before we tell you how to take a toenail off. I'm like, why? Please don't take your toenails off, everyone listening. Please don't watch YouTube videos and remove your own toenails.
Yeah.
If you think you need your toenail removed, please go to a doctor.
Yeah. Exactly. I think the best...
Exactly.
This is a disclaimer.
I think the best example of how it is even like kind of subconsciously become a part of our teaching and way we learn is we recently had a project in history class where we had to pick literally anything from the 1910s, 20s, and 30s and create some sort of visual project on it that was more interesting than just like a PowerPoint. And I mean, I wrote a song about women's rights in the 1910s, 20s, and 30s and made a video of it and used like visual representations of the things I was talking about and posted it on YouTube. And like one of my classmates made a video game about discovering King Tut's tomb and like walking through an actual replica of the way the tomb was built, except in a video game. And I think it's just, I learned more because YouTube and online stuff and making videos is what I've been around growing up, that it was more interesting to me and more fun for me. I learned a lot and retained a lot doing that, more so than I would have like writing an essay about women's rights where I just had to like copy and paste facts that wasn't fun for me to be a part of.
I think that's a really good point, and it was a very cute video, by the way. It was very well done. But I think my question would be, how do you make sure that if you're going to use YouTube, and I think you could apply this to the internet in general, but since we're talking about YouTube, if you're going to use it to learn things, everything from like more day-to-day mundane things that don't have like life-threatening consequences, like how do I best apply makeup, or even how should I cut my own hair, to actually learning about history, or the events of science, learning how to do things like I said, like medical procedures. How do you vet that information other than just how many people is that just it? Like if something's gotten a lot of views, it's probably good, it's probably helpful, it's probably correct. I mean, that would be the big thing, especially educationally. It's probably correct, so I'm going to use it. Or is there another way for you to vet that material to make sure that you're not absorbing something that's incorrect or misleading?
I think it's helpful using the videos as kind of like an addition instead of like the sole way that we're learning, because then when I like use a video to go back and review everything before a test, I know the basic concepts that we have talked about. So like if I'm watching a video that's supposed to be on period 7 of history and I know that these important wars took place in there, these important dates, and then I'm watching and they're talking about like Christopher Columbus founding America, then it's like, okay, this is obviously not right. Like I think having the prior knowledge is important, but then also like I look at like quality of the video and like if I can find out the person, like what are their, not like credentials, but like if I'm watching someone and like they're just like a random person that doesn't have any other videos in their entire channel and have like 2 views, or if they're like a very educated person who has a whole production team and a research team and they're having like animations in their videos and other people and they have like millions of subscribers, I think it's just
they're not just like, hi, I'm Steve, let me tell you about history. Hey kids, this is what your teachers
that video
won't tell
is
you.
out there somewhere.
That seems dangerous though, because you're saying that someone with a very popular person who has a slick production quality, maybe a lot of money in their budget, could tell you anything they wanted to, and you might believe it just because a lot of people repeat it. That seems dangerous, to learn something like that from YouTube or like from the news or reality actually right now. That's a good point. Well, and I mean, and
it's a good point about YouTube, and it's a good point about the whole internet, which is why a lot of stuff can be misleading, because there's so much the reason fake news gets spread and believed is because it looks real.
Right.
Now, you're right, Rileigh. I think that your generation is much savvier in terms of
yes,
figuring out something that looks real and doesn't. I think, I'm pretty good with like, that's still using Flash animation. I bet that's not real. Like that's still like it's like the
that's on Angel Fire. Nah,
exactly. The title is scrolling across the top of the screen, and I could tell like I think there's a problem here, but there's a lot
page
of stuff.
has a guest book. No,
there's a lot of stuff that's presented in a way that it could be misleading, and I think you made the point about using it to add to your education as opposed to the sole source of your education is key. But I can see also that there's a risk that since it is a much more attractive way of learning than sitting there and reading a bunch of class notes,
it's not like
I could see the danger.
I get what you're saying, but it's not like the way of learning.
Right.
It's like I've already learned the information and I've absorbed it and I know what it is. It's my way of, I guess, being able to understand it more deeply, like knowing it instead of like where you memorize 10 dates right before a test and you forget them immediately after you've written all about them in your DBQ. Like, after all of that, you don't know what you're talking about anymore. But then if you take the time to create it and you've learned about it and you've heard someone talk about it and you've seen it, then it's more, you have that becomes your prior knowledge later when you're looking up other things and trying to figure out other things.
Now,
and I also recognize that this kind of argument we're posing, I remember being in high school and using the internet to do research, just looking at web pages, and having teachers that wouldn't allow the internet, we've talked about this, like, as a source, because it's like, well, if you didn't go to the library and get a book, like, that's not a real source, because the internet could say anything. It's like, yeah, but I think I can tell the difference between actual, like, useful information and something that's just somebody's opinion.
But but you make a good point, because I think that's just a good example of, I guess that would be kind of like culture lag, where the internet is this great source of information, but it can also be a great source of misinformation. And in order to be a savvy internet consumer, you have to have a lot of experience with it. And so people who grew up with it and who are comfortable with it are going to get to that level of experience and like, be able to tell the real stuff from the fake stuff a lot faster. People who didn't grow up with it, and then especially as we get into people who maybe are very uncomfortable with it, they didn't grow up with it, and trying to adopt it is very uncomfortable for them. That could be a huge problem, trying to discern something real from something fake. Hopefully over time, like things you mentioned, like YouTubers having to say they're sponsored, things like that help. It'd be nice if fake news was always labeled fake news.
Just say you are fake news.
That is a direct reversal, kind of like in the past you sought out the information, you had to find it, and now it's like it's all there. You have to filter it out. You went from like maybe not enough to way too much. Like the whole process of learning is sort of turned on its head in that sense.
That's very true. Now, you mentioned that you follow certain YouTubers. So briefly, like, you can subscribe, but you have to be a member of YouTube.
Like how on Twitter, before you follow someone, you have to have an account.
Okay.
You have to have a YouTube account before you can subscribe to someone, or else it's just like every time you log in, you're a different person.
That's why I haven't liked your videos, even though I have actually in real life liked them.
But that doesn't count for me, Cindy.
Because I can't, because then they ask me to log in, and I don't know what that means. I mean, I do like them. Like, I will give you a thumbs up in real life right now. There it is.
That doesn't go towards her numbers, Sydney.
That doesn't count my views.
I'm sorry.
My overall sub count.
I have viewed them, and I have shared them with people in the sense that I've handed my phone to people and said, look at this.
That's not how you share things either. I know you know how to use Facebook.
I know how to use Facebook.
That's sharing things.
Okay, but I can't share those things because no, I guess I can do the link thing.
You can.
I need an account on YouTube is what I'm saying.
And it takes like 30 seconds. It's like, hey, what's your email and your password? There you go.
Do you get like ding updates like your favorite YouTuber has a new video?
You have to turn on their notifications, so like you can subscribe to them. But also if you turn on their notification, it sends you a notification every time they upload a new video.
Okay.
In case I'm wondering, there's a little bell notification symbol next to the subscribe button. Just you all can go click that. Say update me, notify me when this person posts new videos.
Just do that.
Rileigh Smirl?
Okay. For Rileigh.
For Rileigh.
Okay.
But how do people get? I mean, we've talked about getting sponsorships, and I that makes sense. But does YouTube pay people people that get popular enough?
Okay, so you have to set up. I actually just went through this. I've made $3 off of YouTube.
Wow.
Yeah. But you have to set up what's called an AdSense account, and it basically makes it so YouTube can put when you're watching a video and either an ad comes on before you watch the video or a little banner pops up at the bottom or on the side. Those are ads that every time someone clicks on one, it pays a YouTuber money.
Charlie gets mad because when I click on a video for her to watch and the ad comes up first, she goes, ad.
Yeah, that's like a YouTuber getting money. So once you have an AdSense account, you put in you can put on these types of ads. Maybe you don't want the skippable ads at the beginning, but you can put on little ads over my videos. Then they verify your AdSense account, and then after that, it's just every time you get a certain number of clicks on your video, and then a certain number of they're aware so many people are seeing this ad because of how many views you're getting, then you get paid money.
So that's how those candy review kids are so rich.
Yes. And that's how, the most subscribed to YouTuber on YouTube ever history is making $7 or $8 million a year.
That's wild to me because, and I think what's so bizarre is that I mentioned the candy reviews, but really millions of views. Some of these things that Charlie and Justin will watch together.
Those toy opening videos get tens of millions of views.
That's what I was going to ask about next. You don't even see people in a lot of those. Mm-mm. They're just nicely manicured hands and a voice, and they're opening things, and it's really I talked about the bath bombs.
That's creepy.
I have seen a video. I am one of the views of it was a Dora the Explorer set of bath gels in different colors that you could paint with on the walls, but then they're water based, so then they go away from bathroom wall, not on your bathroom walls.
Yeah,
not your wall walls.
Your regular wall.
Anyway, and it was just her opening the set and showing the character that was on each tube and then squeezing it out on the table so you could see the color of it. And then I think she may have given a troll a bath at the end. I don't know where that comes in. The fictions get all intertwined in these videos. I don't know why sometimes the trolls hang out with the PJ Masks characters. I don't know where that comes in.
Or why Spider-Man and the princesses are always together and Batman bring pizza.
And Batman always brings pizza. I don't understand why these fictions exist. I just know that they are very popular with my child.
Well,
I think on a I don't want to say deeper sense, but finding the actual meaning of why these people are becoming more popular and why actual people on YouTube are becoming less popular is because whereas my generation has become used to these videos, watching them as high schoolers and teenagers and adults, that's where we find entertainment. I think even my older parts of my generation who are now having kids are using that for their babies and showing it to their children. So where I wasn't watching YouTube videos when I was Charlie's age, now because they're so prevalent, now that she is her age, now that she is around, that's what her entertainment is, and that's where she finds entertainment. And it's harder to get kids to decipher between what is actual quality entertainment and what is Batman bringing pizza to a princess party. But I also know that once Charlie starts watching something she's really into, she doesn't stop watching it until it's over. So you put out a 15-minute video, 2-year-olds are going to sit there and watch a whole 15-minute video, even if it's just someone playing with Dora bath gels. And that's where those people get all their money from, where they get all their views from.
Well, and just to comment on the weird Batman princess thing, if YouTube is the evolution of what the internet was when we were growing up, anybody that ever spent time on fan fiction sites,
they're just acting it out now.
Yeah,
on YouTube
I think that's
videos.
just anything that you've ever wanted to see. You used to just write it in a text document and post it. Now you make a YouTube video.
Now you make a YouTube of it.
You're just going back to your Angel Fire and taking all that and transcribing it into a video.
What if Batman fought Princess Jasmine? Let's find out.
It's scary for me though, because Charlie now acts out just she'll want to be Moana and dance around the house in her Moana costume and sing all the songs and act out all the scenes and stuff. She will want to act out YouTube videos And so, like, she was standing there and she was trying to make me act out something with her where she was spinning a wheel. And I was like, what is this game we're playing? And there are all these videos on YouTube of people, like, spinning a wheel, and they have different cartoon characters, usually themed, around the wheel. Mm-hmm. And then they have pictures of them on these holes, and they punch the hole and pull out a toy from each one. And that's the whole thing. And they just pull out a toy, except one of the holes has slime in it. And then you punch and you're like, slime. Oh, but no. That's it.
Sounds like a Nickelodeon show.
But it's toy opening. Like, all it is just a vehicle to open all these different toys. And that's the whole video. And we stood there and played that game yesterday. Like, Charlie and I played the game, which was her spinning the wheel and me pretending to punch holes and pull toys out of them. And she told me what the toys were.
I mean, that sounds like a pretty fun game.
That's very sad.
Well, there's a weird, like, if you look at, I don't know, the advent of reality TV, which also happened in our generation, mine and Sydney's, like, there's a weird kind of reckoning with what people actually want to watch that's happened in the past, like, 20, 30 years. Like, you have things that are way more focused on just people, just regular people with nothing, like, especially talented about them, like, doing regular things. I mean, you know, not even like talented makeup artists. It's people like, I'm gonna try this for the first time. You're gonna watch me do it. I'm gonna complain about my day. Like, there's a weird sort of content coming down to earth that, I mean, heck, podcasts are part of that. But I don't know. It's strange when you get into what people actually want to spend their time watching or listening to.
Which hits on kind of what you mentioned, Rileigh, about people who are a little more genuine or real, authentic. Mm-hmm. The idea that this person, it's like more intimate. They're telling you something because they believe it. They've discovered this thing that they think you would like to, and they want to tell you about it, which is something a friend does, not something we're used to people on, like, TV, right, or, you know, trying to sell us on. I mean, we know what that is all about. Yeah. What you're talking about is a more intimate relationship. It's like, hey, I got something I know you would like because I know you and you know me. And we're buds, and here's this thing I like.
Yeah, I think podcasts and YouTube videos kind of go together in that sense, where it's like you're listening or watching to this one thing by yourself. It's like right in your headphones, or it's right on your computer screen right in front of you. And it's people that aren't these, like, Beyonce level celebrities that you think are just different kinds of people than you are. Like, they're like, you see them as normal people, and you see them as, yes, I would love to meet them, but also they're living like a normal life. They're not, like, you know, being amazingly famous celebrities.
They're not like the earthbound goddess that Beyonce is.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. They're normal people. So when you hear them telling you something or talking about something, you feel like you get a sense that you know them instead of, like, you're watching them on TV and it seems fake. Mm-hmm. I think it's just, even if a person is the fakest person ever, I think if they're being genuine on camera, or even if they're a really genuine person on camera and, like, they're a popular YouTuber and they tell you about, like, I think that's also, for me, I believe someone more if, like, they're willing to talk about things that have been hard for them almost. And I know that kind of sounds like unbelievable, like, why would you watch someone talk about that, or why would you believe them? But, like, if they're willing to put out their struggles they've been through, or, like, tell you all about something that's hard, and then also do fun videos, it's like, well, this person has been honest with me about this kind of stuff, I'm going to keep watching them because they're a genuine person. And it's just, you feel like a more personal connection to them in a society where people have become a lot more separated from other real people and have used the internet as kind of a way to communicate. I think now people use the internet as, like, you're my friend and this is my friend talking to me.
Interesting.
That is an interesting point.
And we haven't talked extensively about sort of, I don't know, internet videos in our day and age, Sid, but
yeah,
this brings to mind, and you didn't know what this was. I'm sure people out there will know. In of all the videos that I remember as a kid, there was one that kind of was a different kind than the others, and that was this girl Boxy, who just was like a really cute kind of emo girl that was just talking at the camera. And at the time, like, it caused like a huge war on 4chan and all this stuff, and like, I was like, why does everybody care so much? But now when you look at the range of popular YouTube videos, where it's a lot of times just like cute people with cute personalities talking about stuff, like, it makes sense in this day and age that's something that people responded way back, you know, this was like 10 years ago maybe, but they responded so strongly to that because it's something that was actually a really popular format.
And I think Rileigh, just to mention kind of briefly, so like before there was YouTube, a lot of the videos that I remember thinking were like viral videos. First of all, most of them I think were probably animated, a lot of flash animation. Which probably just has to do with how many people actually had cameras to film them. You know, like computers didn't have cameras built in necessarily. And you didn't necessarily have some other digital camera. You know, it wasn't always easy. There certainly were videos that were older. Like I think Star Wars Kid is from like 2003. The kid who was playing with the, you've seen that. So like that's old in internet standards. That's pre-YouTube era. But when I think of like old school videos, one of the first ones that I remember somebody showing me was like an old South Park video of Santa fighting Jesus, which was like this thing that everybody wanted to find and watch because like you heard about it, but I didn't know where it was. I wouldn't have even known how to look for it on the internet. This was like I was just figuring out how to use AOL Instant Messenger. So this was a big deal. And like I remember we were talking about this at old videos, and he said that he had a friend who had a copy of it on VHS, and that's how he saw it the first time. Is somehow he got it from his computer to a VHS tape and shared it with his friends. Physically shared it with them on a VHS tape and made copies of it. But I remember that video like back then. Those kinds of videos, someone would have to tell you about, or I mean, I guess you could, IM somebody a link to it, or you would have to know what website to go to find them because they weren't in centralized locations. But stuff a lot of the time would be shared, kind of like I said with your YouTube videos now when I hold my phone up and show them to my friends, like, look how talented my sister is. That was kind of what you would do. I remember sitting in like my dorm room, or even back in high school, sitting at like the family computer in the computer room with my friends all gathered around the computer, like watching, like, I don't know, that dancing baby from Ally McBeal or fun. Peanut butter jelly time.
Well, that's
or that old End of the World video. It was flash animation, and it was just this little like 2-minute video about how the world's going to end that everybody loved for whatever reason.
A lot of the stuff that really took up, though, like you mentioned the peanut butter jelly time and the baby and like the badger snake, like it was all just like a weird, repetitive, like kind of obnoxious, kind of goofy animation with a weird, repetitive, kind of obnoxious, kind of repetitive song. And we loved it. There was all of these websites. I started out as one that was just like, "You're the man now, dog." And it was just a single page with a bunch of Sean Connery's faces on it. And he was just saying, "You're the man now, dog," over and over again. And it like everybody would show it to you. That's how guys would impress you. Like, "Luke, have you seen this? Check this out." And the whole series, there were a whole series of pages like that. Where it was like one stupid quote or something and some ugly flash. Just that was it, super popular.
And there were so few of them that everybody was kind of watching the same thing at once, so like it for instance, Homestar Runner. Everybody was into Homestar Runner and Strong Bad. That was the Flash era, and we were all watching them, and then the next day like talking about like, "Did you see the latest Teen Girl Squad? Oh my gosh." And then just quoting that over and over and over again ad nauseum until a new video came out, because there weren't that many at the time that that everybody knew about. So once we kind of latched on to like, this is like one person who's making multiple videos that's cool, we're all going to watch those. But there weren't a lot of other things to watch. One that Justin showed me when we were talking about this that I had not seen back when it was popular was Yatta.
Yatta. Yeah, it's a Japanese music video, though. It's not like a viral. Well, it went viral here.
It went viral here.
Yeah.
It was one of the older viral videos, like back before YouTube was around to make things viral. Like one to spread that way took a lot more effort.
Yeah.
So if you have not seen that video, I would highly recommend you do, because it brought me a lot of joy.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, it was part of like it was like I guess a sketch comedy team or show where this was done. And it's a funny song. It's actually about the Japanese economy and how bad it was, but how they should be happy anyway. And it's really funny. And it made me happy.
It's pretty good.
I think those are the major ones. Did we miss any of the old funny?
I mean, I think this was less mainstream, but the old weird Flash. I'm sure there are people out there making it. I just don't keep up with it like I used to. But like, rathergood.com, which eventually gave us the sponge monkeys that went into like what was it?
The Quiznos commercials. I used to love those things. I will say they would talk about how
because it is round and stuff.
I like the Quiznos commercials of those too, because they would say they've got a pepper bar.
No, I
want to eat it. Quiznos.
I still think that stuff holds up. I don't know. Like a lot of it's like, oh man, I remember that being so funny. It's like that wasn't so funny, but that stuff is so bizarre and so like clunky that it's just amazing. Same with like we were talking about this earlier, salad fingers, like just
it's so creepy.
It is
creepy, just bizarre, like but. And he worked on that over years, but so good. Like I don't know, there was a weird moment there where maybe it was because there wasn't so much content that you really got these really specific, really bizarre, like artistic visions that I'm sure are happening out there. It's just hard to find them beneath the pile of content available now.
And there's a really good film theory video on salad fingers. It's very interesting.
Really?
Oh, really?
It's actually a channel on YouTube, Film Theory and Game Theory. It's just like is super smart guy who comes up with these theories on like how far could Mario actually jump and how fast can Sonic actually run.
No,
what's the story behind salad fingers?
I know we got to go, but real quick, you said channels, and that was one of my questions.
Yeah.
I had questions to ask you about YouTube, and I forgot a lot of them. Channels.
Yeah.
What do you mean by a channel on? Do you mean like one?
That's what you call like their account.
Their account is a channel.
Yeah.
Okay. So like
it's like instead of like your Facebook page, it's your YouTube channel where all of your videos are.
Okay, so the channel doesn't have multiple users who all put videos together with a theme.
No.
Okay. Just making sure a channel is like you have a channel.
Yeah. I mean, you can call it their
Rileigh
like,
Smirl
YouTube
is a channel
page, but
okay,
channel just is where all your videos are.
I understand.
Can like a bunch of channels join together and become like a super channel?
A network.
There are networks on YouTube actually that kind of have like an overall name and then like a company almost, and then they hire people to come make videos for them and post them on a different kind of regular basis.
Really?
I mean, think about like, Justin and Griffin do their Monster Factory. That's through Polygon. They're kind of a network that has a bunch of people uploading videos that have the same sort of theme.
That's true.
Oh, I guess that's
and
true.
basis, but that's like a company. But I mean, same thing except only based in YouTube, where it's companies with a bunch of people they hire to make videos for them.
That's true. Mm-hmm. But see, Justin understands these things and I do not.
Right.
One thing I wanted to mention, just because in light of talking about our generation's YouTube videos, there's a great reference for pretty much all the prominent ones, and that's Weezer's Pork and Beans video, which brought in all of kind of that first round of YouTube stars. So that's a great reference if you want to like delve back into your memory bank of all those stupid videos we watched and listen to Weezer, because that was timely.
Which you should always do, by the way. And we should probably put together a Rileigh, you should put together.
I'll put together a playlist of all these videos you all have been talking about, and plus some extra ones you all are talking about.
A playlist of them on YouTube. It will be on her channel, right?
I'll share it on the Facebook group. If you want to go join the Facebook group, still buffering.
Yeah. Hey, look at that segue you just did. I'm so proud of you.
And also, if you run into Sydney in public, she might show you all these on her phone.
That's true. I will share them with you physically by saying, look at my phone.
Look at what I'm watching.
So I have a VHS on hand.
I usually get really disappointed when I click on something and it turns out to be a video. So, like, yours are one of the few videos I watch. Usually I'm like, just put it in text. Just let me read it. Stop making noise.
Yeah, I have videos, and if anyone, just to watch them.
Where are they, Rileigh?
On YouTube. This is my name, Rileigh Smirl.
Okay.
You can look it up if you want.
You can do that. That's fair. You can plug that.
Thanks.
All right. Well, thank you, sisters. This has been fun and educational. Thank you, listeners, again for tuning in. And like I said, we'll try to put together a playlist of some of these videos, especially some of the older ones. I know there are a lot of people who are like from Taylor and I's generation who probably remember these, but if not, they're funny and at least fun to reminisce about the pre-YouTube days. Thank you to Maximum Fun. That's how I wanted to take next. They're a network of podcasts.
There you go.
And you can find them at MaximumFun.org.
I think you made a super channel.
They're a super channel. And we are one channel. And there are a lot of other great channels. And you can check them out and listen to them. And I would highly recommend you do. You can also go to MaximumFun.org/Jumbotron if you would like us to send a personal message to somebody on our show. We will do that for you. You can email us at stillbuffering@MaximumFun.org. You can tweet at us at stillbuff. And you can join our Facebook group, Still Buffering. And thank you to the Novellas for our theme song, Baby You Change Your Mind.
This has been Still Buffering, a sister's guide to teens through the ages. I am Rileigh Smirl.
I'm Sydney McElroy.
And I'm Taylor Smirl.
I am a teenager.
And I was 2.
Guys, the cat is back. It's next to me now.
Cat update.
Cat update.
In the corner, still fat.
The first ever Very, Very Fun Day is coming to Tally Hall in Chicago on February 11th, with media sponsorship from WBEZ 91.5. Advance tickets are sold out, but we will have a limited number of tickets for sale at the door. So come on out for a day jam-packed with 5 great Max Fun podcasts, 4 local shows, and a comic showcase. For more information, please visit MaximumFun.org/veryveryfunday.
MaximumFun.org.
Comedy and culture. Artist owned.
Listener supported.